Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. These are some new makeup releases for December. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today I'm going to be sharing 30-ish new makeup releases that stood out to me in the past month or so. I do this video once a month to let you know what makeup releases there are, one, but two, also what I think I might be getting. Maybe there's something here that I have already decided to get, or maybe there's something else going on here. So today I have quite a bit, again, to chat about with you. I thought there was going to be less, but then I did a quick count. It was like, there's still like 30 releases here. So let's just get to it. So first things first is this Catrice Real. This is the Soft Embrace limited edition collection. They announced this on November 2nd. Usually it can take a few weeks for things to really hit stores with these things. There seem to be a couple of like blushes, a lip mousse, a primer, and some hand care. And this, to me, it's very Rare Beauty coded. I'm not sure about you, but it seems very, very similar to what Rare Beauty has. It just doesn't have the little bowl on top, I feel. But from the lip products here to the blushes, it just all looks very, very Rare Beauty-esque. This does look interesting, but none of the shades really stand out to me. If I were to find this in store and it's not incredibly picked over, I might find this interesting to have a look at. But as I have mentioned many times with Essence and Catrice limited editions, not only do they do a lot, I also feel like, especially a limited edition like this, it looks very, very much like this is another one of those limited edition collections where Catrice is just testing out the waters to see how popular something might be. And then when we get the new collection in like January, February time, these products in different shades will probably be in the regular collection. This is what's going on quite a bit, so I don't feel there's any rush to get any of these, if you know what I mean. Then of course Nomad. I think I already was able to show you the cover of this last time round, but this wasn't like showcased as much with the color story when I sat down to film my previous video. Sometimes these things just kind of become a little bit of a crossover. This is the Christmas, like a Christmas market, like German Christmas market kind of thing. And this looks really pretty. I think this is a really good one from Nomad. There seems to be quite a few shimmers. Very Christmassy. We have all the reds and the greens and stuff like that. So it looks really pretty. And there seem to be like some shifty shades in here. So this is beautiful, actually. I do really like the look of this. There hasn't been anything really that Nomad released in like the past year that made me go like, ooh, I need that. So that's why I haven't really bought anything from them since. But they do some really solid things. And you probably know about me how much I love Nomad Cosmetics as an indie brand for beginners. If you are a beginner with makeup and you struggle making these really intense eyeshadow palettes from indie brands work, then checking out Nomad can actually be a good thing because they have a bit of a thinner formula. So it does require more building, but I do feel that if you're a beginner, you may not want like boom in your face pigment as much as somebody else might. So that's why I do enjoy Nomad Cosmetics. And this looks really pretty. It's definitely something a little bit different, but still very Christmassy and fun. We have a ColourPop collection. This is Whoville, so it's the Grinch themed, which I think is fun. Did they already do the Grinch? We've already had so many of the Grinch collections that I don't know which brands have done it and which ones haven't. But there's an eyeshadow palette. There seem to be some like lip products and things. For ColourPop, it probably makes sense. I wanted there to be more greens in the palette if we're doing the Grinch. Not gonna lie. But yeah, this is a fun looking palette makeup collection for sure. Do I need it? No. Do you? Probably not either, right? Then this is currently in my house. This is the Gingerbread Bakery palette from Simply Posh Cosmetics. This was launched on MONOLITH on the 16th of November. And that's when I also picked it up. So I am already testing this one out for you guys this month. So you'll hear my thoughts. Is this something we needed? Not necessarily, but I do like the gingerbread sort of theming. Seems to have some colorful things as well as some neutrals. There are some warm tones in, but it doesn't seem to be overly warm, which made me happy. And I've never tried Simply Posh before, so this will be my first time. There is a new palette from Melt Cosmetics. This is the Edward Scissorhands collection, and it does look really pretty. I'm not really sure, though, about the pink background with this. I only have this, like, teaser thing, but there seem to be some pretty shades in. Do I need this? No, but if you're an Edward Scissorhand enthusiast, you may really like this. You could just really enjoy this. There is a new eyeshadow palette from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is one of the mini 9 pens that they've been doing, and this is the Haze palette, and this does look really pretty. If I didn't already have shades like this a million times over in my makeup collection, I would have been a lot more excited for this. I know that ABH does a really solid formula. I tend to enjoy their shadows. I haven't tried them in a while, though, but I didn't need this. It's sort of sultry coated. I used to own that palette. I still have my favorite shades from that palette. There seems to be only 2 shimmers, which is what's holding me back with this one. There's just too many mattes, but it does look really pretty. If you're looking for a really good neutral palette for the holidays that can do it all, you got enough mattes, you got enough shimmers for your liking, I think this can be a good one, but I don't think I really need this in my life. It's a bit basic for me. Then we have the Melt Cosmetics Luster Slick lipsticks. It's sheer but buildable, and it seems to come in interesting shades as well. Like, there are pinky tones, but in the promo pictures, there's also like a purple and like a navy. So that seems fun. I think it's part of the Edward Scissorhands collection as well. It came out mid-November, it seems. So I don't know. I haven't heard anybody really talking about these. So not sure if it's anything that any people are really excited for, but it fits Melt and it fits the brand, and it seems to be a little bit more interesting. So if you like interesting makeup products, then Melt, I think, is still a really solid brand to look into. Gloss Gods, this was a little teaser for their holiday collection that came out in November. I did pick up the eyeshadow palette, which is featured in this little image as well. It's called the Starry Night, I believe, eyeshadow palette. It's still making its way to me as I'm filming it. I think this weekend it may actually arrive, or it's going to come to me after the weekend, but it was the only thing one of the very few things I really ordered through Black Friday sales. I mainly did some physical shopping, as you will have seen yesterday. But yeah, that's something I did already get. So you can look forward to my review, hopefully soon. But I don't think, if it's not going to be here on time, I may just film my eyeshadow palette review for December and then put the Gloss Gods one into January. I think that may be better. I was hoping it would be here early December time, and then I could roll it into my December eyeshadow palette review, but I don't think it will be here on time for me to be able to take the pictures and work it into my content that way. So I may want to keep it a little bit more close to the chest until January. Then there is a Glamlight Bratz collab. This makes so much sense for Glamlight, I think. So it comes with 2 little tiers. It's got a very neutral, softer tier, and then these bright, fun, colorful things. It's very sparkly. When I think of Bratz dolls, those sparkles is what really stands out to me. So I think this is really pretty. It makes sense for the brand. It goes very well with Glamlight and with Bratz, I think. I wasn't Bratz. I'm a little bit too old for Bratz dolls, so it's not top of mind for me, you could say. But yeah, I think it does suit the brand and the makeup brand they are collabing with and all that. So makes sense. I think it looks pretty. Glamlight does some stunning things. So if you like the look of this, it could be worth it. We have a Maybelline complexion product. This is the Lifter Plump and Glow Foundation. Not sure when this is coming out. It comes in 18 shades. Did I see that correctly? 18 shades, yeah. And it does, and a concealer. It's a foundation and a concealer. And the concealer comes in 18 shades and the foundation comes in 24. I'm sorry, I didn't see that correctly. And yeah, Maybelline foundations tend to be really good. The last thing I tried from them is that tinted serum that a lot of people like. But over here where I live, the lightest shades are super yellow, and shade 3, which is most readily available where I live, is actually too dark for me. So as much as I love the formula and the overall look, it just oxidized and it looked too dark on me. So it was a little weird looking. So that's the only thing with a lot of Maybelline products where I live is that they don't do the entire shade range in stores, and then I can't find my shade. So I don't have high hopes with this. I don't think the Netherlands will have all 24 shades. But if I do find a shade in this, then I would like to try it because it sounds like something I might like. There is a new palette from Fantasy Cosmetica. This is a very neutral heavy palette, it seems. It's called the Artificer. Is that how you pronounce it? But if I see it swatched on different skin tones, it does look quite deep. So I do think this is a really beautiful eyeshadow palette for people with deeper skin tones. There is warmth with like the orange in there, but it does have some good neutrals in. It's mainly the shimmers that worry me here in terms of how warm this skews, because the shimmers all seem to have a warm shift to them, which I've said this many times before with a lot of indie brands. They're very good at doing shifty shades with warm shifts, but we don't get a lot of cool tone shifts. And if this had at least one really good cool tone shift, I might have liked it a little bit better. There seems to be some sort of like silvery, taupey things in here. So I like one half of the palette a lot, but the other half I'm not so sure about. But I do really enjoy Fantasy Cosmetica as a brand. I tried their Which is Familiar that they came out with in collaboration with Betty Jean, of course. And I do really enjoy the look of that. So that's a little bit more unique in my collection. This looks stunning. I think it looks really pretty, but I'm not sure I need it per se. There's a brand new palette by Glaminatrix as well. This is the Merry Chrissy eyeshadow palette, and I think this is so funny because, of course, Glaminatrix is an Australian brand, and even though Australia does have Christmas, it's summer over there. So for them to do this like wintry themed Christmas palette seems so funny to me. I think they also made a joke about that on their Instagram, like, hey, we're doing a Christmas palette as well. But it's very warm toned. It's got a red, and then it has these like warm toned neutrals in, some peachy tones, and then some blues and greens. So it's a very good like Christmas color palette, I think. But I don't think this is necessarily going to be my cup of tea when it comes to what I'm looking for in an eyeshadow palette. I am thinking, because I haven't heard, but I'm pretty sure that the Monolith drop is probably going to be like midway through December. And then a lot of these like newer things like by Fantasy Cosmetica and also this Glaminatrix palette are probably going to be in stock. So whenever Monolith does their next drop, I'm pretty sure these things are going to be made available. So if that's something you were interested in, then you could look that up. And Monolith is a website I am affiliated with, just to be completely transparent, but I do think they have these in stock already from what I've seen on their Instagram. New from Kaleidos. We haven't had new products from Kaleidos like this in a while. Not necessarily something that I need. It came out on the 19th of November. And I think it was like a bunch of lip products and like some more eyeliners, I believe. So, and like lip liners and stuff. So this looked really pretty, good for the brand. I'm glad to see that Kaleidos is still around and kicking and still doing new things. They're just not a brand that does a lot of new makeup, which I appreciate. But there's nothing in this collection that screams, buy me now! But I do think everything that they have released does come with the brand really nicely. And there's just fun bits in here if you do like the brand or you want to try something by them that's like a lip product. There is a new Terra Moons Cosmetics coming as well. I just have these swatches here in the image. This is the Night of the Leonids, I think. 14 singles. Oh, it's a singles collection. It's not a palette. So it's just single eyeshadows. So if you're looking for good singles, then Terra Moons is definitely a brand to check out. These all seem to have some form of shift in them. Really pretty. It came out November 17th. And I think you can just buy them, as singles and not as a palette. Again, I'm not really into buying singles at the minute. Because I already have so much eyeshadow and I have too many palettes to begin with. But Terra Moons, I do have a couple of their singles and I do really enjoy them. Then as I was sort of like looking what was I going to buy for Black Friday, I came across the Viseart website and found out that they actually are doing 2 new eyeshadow palettes. There's 2 palettes. I was like, I couldn't find the names. The Violette Nocturne and the Cyrenus Nocturne. So both of the palettes have Nocturne in the name. And the Violette Nocturne seems to be right between the Vespertine and the Violette Étendue, which, if you know anything about me, I love my Violette Étendue. The Vespertine I was a little less intrigued by. But if this is in between and it gives you all those neutrals, it looks really stunning. It's the palette you see at the front here. And Esther very kindly put in an order for what I wanted to get from the Viseart website for Black Friday, along with her order as well. The Cyrenus Nocturne looks really pretty as well. I have the original Cyrenus palette, which was actually my favorite of the 4 palettes that I bought last spring. And which was unexpected, but this seems to be a little bit like that Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes palette that we got this year, where they just replaced a shade for a green and they call it a day. So the Cyrenus one is a little less interesting to me. It is the more warm-toned option of the two, it seems. And then the Violette seems to be a little bit more cool, neutral leaning with some pops of purple. And that really looks like it's like what I wanted the Vespertine to be, which is why I wanted to get it. So that's new from Viseart. And this is a brand that I've heard a lot of people raving about on TikTok. It's called Sugar Rock. They are a Chinese beauty brand, but these are expensive. So I looked into it. They're available through a couple of like Chinese beauty websites like C Beauty Mall. And a lot of people are going crazy for them. They sell out super quickly. They have some really interesting like looks to them. This is the Epic Edge eyeshadow palette. This is perhaps a brand that goes onto the list of things to try in 2026 because this is a brand I've only just discovered. I'm not sure how new this one is in particular, but there is one that is a little bit more cool tone leaning that I really like the look of. So I may want to wait for that to come back in stock and then purchase it. So let me know if you want me to try Sugar Rock. I would love to know. And then we have Odin's Eye Cosmetics. I actually am testing out an Odin's Eye palette in my current Shop My Stash that I was gifted again by the lovely Esther, who I've already mentioned. And this is their like Christmas collection, I think. It's the Ice Crystal eyeshadow palette, and it's got like one side and another side. They've done a layout like this before. To me, this feels a little overly large, and I feel it could have been edited down a little bit better. I would have liked this better if they had done what they have done previously with their Christmas releases, where they do like 2 companion palettes, but as separate palettes. You can buy either one. Here, there are shades I really like the look of. I'm more intrigued by the shades to the right side of the palette than I am to the shades on the left side of the palette, but I do think they mix and match really well. And I can already tell you, I did already test out that Odin's Eye palette, and the issues I've had with other Odin's Eye palettes I've had in the past, I didn't have with this one. So I think it's, like I've said in the past, I think Odin's Eye has a batch problem sometimes where some of the palettes are really good, but some of the other palettes that are exactly identical, when you look at them, they just aren't as great as the other ones from the same batch or from a different batch. So that's why I feel a little bit like, do I want to purchase from them? And this is not screaming buy me by any means. But I do think now that I've tried out the other palette again, and I'm like, with Odin's Eye, they always do some interesting color stories, so I may want to keep an eye out for them. We have the Airbrush Flawless Blur Concealer by Charlotte Tilbury, weightless and full coverage. I haven't tried many Charlotte Tilbury products anymore in the past couple of years because they are just a little bit warm-toned, but this does look intriguing. I'm not in the market for a new concealer though, but I do know that Charlotte Tilbury can do really good complexion products. But I still have a Charlotte Tilbury concealer I still need to use up first. So this is not going to go onto the wish list anytime soon, but I'm intrigued. Then we have from Cosmic Beauty, and I really, really hope that this is going to be in the next Monolith drop. This is their Death Tarot palette. It's their final palette for 2026. And if you know anything about me, I just have the swatches here, but the purples with the reds, it's giving Witches Familiar from Fantasy Cosmetica. But then all the cool tones and then that little block of warmth in the middle. You know I like this. You know I love the look of this. So this is definitely one that no matter even if I don't get anything sent in PR from Monolith, the minute this drops, I'm going to buy it. Even with my own money, this is going to go onto the wish list for sure. I want this. It's already dropped on the official Cosmic Beauty website. It dropped Friday last week. It dropped Friday last week, but this looks stunning. And we all know I love a good Cosmic Beauty palette. We have some new e.l.f. bits as well. There's loads of new launches here. And I looked at this and I was like, nothing truly stands out to me. So with e.l.f., I think I'm going to be skipping this one for sure. But it does look, if you like e.l.f., I think there are good things here. But I think like e.l.f. has sort of overshot its popularity for a minute there. I definitely think they did. There are some new bits from NYX as well. There's a new skin tint, I believe. And then there is this glow boosting highlighter, the Butter Melt Stick. So it's a highlighter stick formula. I only just was able to find the powder Butter Melt highlighters in store, and none of the shades really looked interesting enough for me. I like the minty one, to my surprise. I was not expecting that. That was one that I liked the look of, but then I was like, realistically, how often would I wear a minty green highlighter? Not that often. So I decided to skip it. In here, we don't have too many of those like unique shades like the powder version has. But yeah, none of this is really like something that screams by me. But NYX is really milking the Butter Melt sort of branding, even though those were powders. So why do we suddenly get creams? I'm not truly understanding that, but I think it can be a good launch for for NYX for sure. And then this is a palette that I'm also very intrigued with. I'm not exactly sure how much I would like this though. This is by Bella Beauty Bar. It's their new crystallized eyeshadow palette. This is launching... No, as I'm filming it, it's gonna launch today. But by the time you're watching this video, it is out for 2 days. So again, something I hope will come to MONOLITH soon. It's got some like pinky purples, and then we have some like tealy bluey greens. It looks really pretty. It's like a softer take on the Rotten palette that they did in collab with a creator a couple of weeks ago. It seems to be that, but then with some interesting, more cool tone shimmers, I think. And it does seem to have like almost 50% shimmers and mattes. I haven't seen many swatches of this yet though. So the reason why I'm a little bit unsure about this is because I have a feeling that this is a similar case as with the Coalescence. I don't really see many of these undertones necessarily going together. So it could be an interesting one, but it kind of looks like what I would have wanted Coalescence to be at the same time. There are cool tones, there are bright fun things, and there are some warm tones, so it does give you a lot of different things. This could be a hit for me, or it could be a complete miss. Let me know how you feel about this one, because I like the look of this. It's definitely a little bit more unique and different. Okay, so we're almost done with this video, but my camera battery almost died, so I had to charge it real quickly. So if the angle has shifted a little bit, I do apologize, but I was trying to mention this one from Kristen Lee Cosmetics. This is the Cosmic Shift palette. This is a 15-pan all shimmer eyeshadow palette. Kristen Lee Cosmetics is not a brand I've tried. This does look really, really pretty. It again came out last Friday, but here's the thing. This thing is $180. It's limited edition. I'm not sure. Yeah, this is not something I'm going to prioritize buying. It's just a little bit too expensive, I find. And of course, it's probably because it has all of these shifty shades in, but I have plenty of shifty shades in my makeup collection. I don't need an all shimmer palette. It does seem to have some really beautiful things in though. I like the look of this a lot, but it's a little bit ouch. It's a little bit too ouch. Like I've spent plenty of money on makeup in the Black Friday sales, as you will have seen yesterday. So I'm not really like, apart from that Cosmic Beauty palette and the Bella Beauty Bar, I don't really feel like there's anything new that's come out that I really want to get my hands on that I don't have yet. But this is pulling on my heartstrings just a little bit. It's just too expensive. I'm not going to buy it right now. Then this is the newly formulated Armani Luminous Silk. And now I'm so happy that I didn't manage to use up my original Luminous Silk just yet. So apparently EU laws are changing and there's a certain silicone that can no longer be used in makeup. There was a whole post by a creator. His name is Javon Beauty. he has a beauty brand as well. You can buy products from the brand, but he's also a chemist, like a beauty chemist. So he had this whole post about this silicone and why it's being done and what that means for some makeup and also like hair products, for instance, here in Europe. And this is one of the first things that had to be reformulated. So it's becoming, this reformulation is due to a change in what ingredients can be in makeup, apparently. And so here is that reformulated version. I'm not sure if that then is still as good, but I still have like half a bottle left. So I may just want to hang on to that a little bit longer. It's getting a little old. I was trying to use it up this year. But it is a really good foundation. So I may want to hang on to it just a little while longer. New from Rare Beauty. This is a three products in one post. It's the Find Comfort Lip Butter Balm. So like a lip balm kind of thing. It can also be used as an overnight lip mask. It's got a shade to it as well. Then there's a body mousse and a body and hair fragrance mist. Yeah, pretty. The lip butter especially I like the look of, but I don't like the fact that it's like this weird rectangular stick. That's not going to fit my lips. And especially if it has a bit of a tint. I've got a pretty like pronounced Cupid's bow. So if a lipstick bullet isn't defined enough, I cannot get it on smoothly. And I'm not really interested in body and hair care stuff from Rare Beauty. So that's not really something I'm going to prioritize. And then this is by Shall We Makeup in collaboration with Ghoul in Japan. And I'm hoping this is going to come to like YESSTYLE or again, Shall We Makeup was stocked to MONOLITH for a bit. But Ghoul in Japan is someone who I follow on TikTok. She has an account there. I think she's mainly on TikTok and she does the most wonderful, artistic, gothic-y makeup looks of your lifetime. I'm not sure if I could get away with it, but it could be a nice experiment in 2026 to like recreate some of her looks. And she actually has a collaboration with Shall We Makeup, and this palette, it looks really stunning. It has some cool tone neutrals, these murky greens and these like orange tones. And she was showcasing it on her TikTok and I was like, oh, that looks absolutely stunning. I've tried Shall We Makeup before. It's not necessarily like my favorite brand or anything. I think I decluttered the eyeshadow palette that I did try last year pretty quickly, but that's because it wasn't super unique and not because I didn't like the formula. So there's definitely that. And what I like about Shall We is that you can buy the palette full size or a mini version. It's called the Nocturnal Flame. And even like the front cover of this thing is absolutely stunning. So and there's 5 shimmers, 5 mattes. It's unique. It's got some fun things in there. And it comes with 3 lip glosses as well. And those lip glosses I also like the look of. So I may want that in my life. And then we have a new DD Signature palette. This is the Festive Elegance palette. DD Signature is another brand I've never tried before, so it could be interesting in 2026 to see if this is a brand I want to try. My main issue with a lot of the palettes I've seen from the brand is that they are always a combination of colors that I know are not going to look great on my skin tone. I do think that DD Signature is one of those brands that looks best if you have medium to deep skin. It just is. Not sure I can get away with this in particular, but there are shades in here that I really like the look of. And in terms of like a Christmas festive palette, I do think there are shades here that are a little bit more of a unique take on what a Christmas palette can be, but it also gives you your standard greens and reds that you might expect from a Christmas palette. So there's some things in here that I really like. There are other things I don't necessarily love all that much. But this is the first time where, like, it's not the first time. Like, DD Signature eyeshadow palettes do intrigue me, but it's one of those brands I've just never bitten the bullet on, so maybe I just should at some point. This does look interesting, but it's a brand for me to keep an eye out for. And then there is also a new palette from Lethal Cosmetics. This is the Serpentine palette. It came out for Black Friday, and this is pretty bright. Again with the snakes. We have had a lot of snake related makeup this year, and this does look pretty. I like Lethal, but I have never ever tried one of their pre-made eyeshadow palettes because I already own so many of their singles. So what I've been doing with Lethal a lot in the past couple of years is that I always build these like freedom system, build your own, pick your poison sort of things. I have a lot of shades by them already that I really enjoy and love. I'm not sure if I look at this palette that it's actually going to like be adding anything new if I were to get like the Shelby makeup one and then the Cosmic Beauty one and the Bella Beauty Bar one. That I think I'm pretty solid, and maybe the DD Signature, that's like a maybe. But yeah, these are like the things that truly interest me, so I hope that that's going to like, yeah, it's pretty, but I don't really need it from Lethal is what I'm trying to say. And those, my best friends, is everything I wanted to talk about with you today. So thank you so very much for joining me with this video down below. Of course, I do this once a month, so check back in January to hear me chat about some new makeup releases then. Let me know in a comment down below in the meantime what your favorite new makeup release is. I would love to know. Is there anything you've bought in the Black Friday sales? I would also like to know. And then I look forward to seeing you in a new video once again very, very soon. Bye-bye!